How? How does a person who's been a virtual germaphobe for the better part of a year finally get COVID? Dumb luck. I took on a gig, thought I was being cautious and calculated risk. Unbeknownst to me, someone at the event was sick and spread it, and I found out a few days later that I need to get tested. So I did so, and the test came back negative. It's one of those drive-through tents with the that are pretty much everywhere. So negative test, I think I'm fine. I go about my business, and then a day and a half later, I start getting that weird feeling, that weird taste in your mouth, like no matter what you eat or drink, that taste just won't go away. And the headache and the fatigue, and me thinking it's a negative test. I'm thinking, okay, maybe I'm just worn out. I need to go rest. So I took a couple days to just relax, and every day I woke up feeling like somebody whooped my ass, just beat up. Every time I spoke on the phone, somebody sounded like, you sound like you just ran a marathon, really winded. And by that weekend, I couldn't stand in my shower. I was too weak. So finally went to urgent care, got tested again, and I was positive. And it's scary, you don't want to be a statistic, So I've been taking my vitamins and doing my due diligence all year, so I had to step it up even more. But I was getting phone calls and texts from people wanting me to shoot. It was nearing the holiday season, so I'm thinking people want headshots or family portraits, and it was so many people reaching out. I finally had to just post on social media that I can't work. I have COVID. People responded and helped out in great numbers. Like, people were sending supplies to my door and donations, and it's an overwhelming thing to experience, because you have those times when you feel like it's just you out here, and you realize who's really got your back. And so I hope everyone that's gone through this has some sort of support system. Helped out a huge. So by the following week, I get a phone call from my mom. Have you checked your oximeter levels? Oh, by the way, here's what an oximeter looks like. So, for those of you that have to isolate or are in quarantine, whether you have COVID or not, you should definitely have a quarantine kit consisting of vitamins, water, of course, some way to check your temperature. So every morning I wake up and I will go check my temperature, thermometer on the left, pulse oximeter on the right, both available at any pharmacy. The pulse oximeter, you put your finger in it, press the button, and it shows you your O2 levels. They should stay above 94 or higher. If they slip down, mine slipped down to 89, 90, 91, just kept fluctuating. I was suggested to go to the ER and just get put on O2, which I did, and the numbers went right back up. They sent me home same day, so that was positive. What you also should have every morning, you should have elderberry, echinacea, vitamins D, C, zinc. I had a temperature of 101 at one point. Tylenol was helpful in getting that back down. If you have congestion, you should take Vicks Vapor rub it on your chest, your neck, under your nose. But again, if you have congestion, not everyone is reacting the same to having this virus. So just to be on the safe side, have all the tools on deck if you can. If you don't have them in-house, if you have friends that can get the stuff for you and bring it to your home, or just leave it at your door, whatever. This humidifier was also a huge help. I still use it even after being out of quarantine. Netflix, humidifier, and sweet tea. That's my thing. So this is my kit. Hopefully you don't have to deal with this, but if you do, it's good to have these on deck if you can't afford to get all this stuff together. See if you have friends or family that can get it for you. And yeah, you're good to go. So that was my morning regimen every day. It still is. Despite taking all my vitamins and whatnot, I get that call and I check my oximeter levels and they're 90, 89, really low. Like, they're supposed to go no lower than 94. Mine was clearly lower than that. I call urgent care. They're like, yeah, you need to go to the ER. So by mid-morning, day before Thanksgiving, I'm in the ambulance with oxygen thing up my nose and sitting in the ER most of the day. And they did everything. They blood pressure, IV in my arm, took blood samples, EKG, CT scan, all that. Everything came fine, but my oxygen was just off. And so that's when I learned that if you control your breathing, You still, I still had to go to the hospital, but seeing those numbers on that machine and seeing the numbers go back up when I relaxed my body and just stopped panicking, breathing exercises, all that. That's how my numbers went back up. So once they felt like I was, strong enough to go home, they sent me home with some 3-day steroid prescription of some sort. And I was finally able to kind of sit upright and just be a little bit more mobile. You're supposed to be active as possible when you're quarantined, so you can kind of keep your strength up. And that helped a lot. So by the end of the week, I was virtually back to normal. The last couple of days was just waiting to get out of jail, quarantine jail, So, but when your quarantine's over, you wait a day after to get tested, not the day of. That was recommended. So test came back negative. And I broke down crying because I came really close to being gone, as far as I saw it. I know that I'm a Pisces and we're dramatic, but I really went through something that traumatized me. I know I handled it a lot better than I did my previous medical incident. My car accident and how it affected my lungs in terms of healing is what prepared me to handle this. I realized there's so many things I've experienced before that have prepared me for these traumatic events of the past year. Recession, not my first time. Financial strain, job strain, not my first time. Health, I knew how to handle it. So this has been kind of a reassurance that I've found some sort of steadiness about me that I didn't have before that made me able to handle everything that's come at me this year, including COVID. So now, here we are with a vaccine, and my concerns for that are still, is it the right way to go about things? Should I, wait till the newer version comes out? Because I'm a geek. You don't buy the iPhone when it first comes out. You get the updated version after they get all the kinks out of it. Same thing with a vaccine. So I had to finally go to somebody that actually took it, that I knew. My mom.
Normal routine. You get the appointment and get the appointment from a friend. The friend had a number where she went and she passed it on to me and my sister. And my sister called and got an appointment for this past weekend. I know I saw 2/10 of them taking the shots, and you pull up and they ask you to do your appointment, etc. And then they give you the fact sheet and the consent form for you to fill out. Which this consent form tells you like any underlying ailments, have you had a shot in the last 14 days, or have you had any kind of COVID-19 testing positive, etc. Those type things on that sheet, and you answer it adequately, And then if you've been exposed to anybody who has this virus in the last 14 days, you answer that, So it's customary routine questions in order to ask. They take your temperature naturally, and then if everything goes well at that point, then you wait until your time they tell you to pull up. And then they were very accurate because my appointment was at 2 o'clock and they was missing my shot at 2:05, which to me I thought it was great. As many people was out there. So once they give you the shot, they give you a little return card a month later, because you have to get your first half. I got the first half Saturday, McDermott. And I get the second half a month, which is February the 20th, and she said they will call to give you time to be there, and they will give you a place to come to. It may be the same place I was at, or they'll give me a different location. After you get the shot, they let you go over to observation area, and you sit there for like 15 minutes, and then you wait 15 minutes to see if any side effects take over, if anything is messing up. Because if you have, even if you tell them you have like any kind of underlying illness or stuff like that, they still watch you and observe you for about 15 minutes before you leave. And you sit in your car. You don't get out your car. The only thing I had was like a hot flash. I felt real flush. But that was it. And after the 15 minutes is up, they come back and check on you, and everything is fine. They let you leave. So I left. And that's all it was nothing to be afraid of. I'm glad I got it. And the only thing is, my arm was really, really sore, which is normal when you get a shot. And it's still sore. My left arm, my shoulder is sore because That little needle is really, really tiny, but it packs a punch and it makes the arm real sore. So that's the only thing that I had wrong. But if anybody is skeptical, because I've heard in the news where the African Americans and people of color are afraid to take it or skeptical about taking it, just go ahead and get it. But just be truthful about if you have anything wrong with you physically. That was my experience of it. It was nothing. And they give you a fact sheet that you read up on it. You have an option. And I didn't have no problem. Think about it. There is not a cure for the common cold. There is not a cure for the flu. There's not a cure for pneumonia. What you're getting in those shots is stuff to build your immune systems up for you not to get it. Now, if you think you're going in and get a shot and say, okay, I'm cured, this is going to cure me, don't think that way. What you need to be thinking about is taking care of your health better, making sure you take your vitamins, making sure you eat properly and exercising. So if they're thinking that it's a all-five cure, if you get the shot, I'm cured, it's for you to take care of yourself. It's to build your immune system up, to fight it off.
And so, yeah, there you have it. Not scared me when she told me she took it, but I have to trust that she knows what she's doing. And just doing my research as well, seeing that, understanding that it's not a cure. There's no cure for this, just like there's no cure for the flu. But it is something that can prevent you from getting it, or if you get it, not getting sick from it. So at least it's a start. Maybe there'll be another version. Johnson & Johnson is coming out with their version. Just like the Moderna vaccine, the Pfizer vaccine, there's going to be other versions of it. And so my hope is that one will outdo the other in terms of performance. So we'll have a better chance of beating this and the COVID variants that are coming out. So, here we are. This is our new normal. Now I screen everybody. The consultation for shoots and gigs is even more rigorous. I have a temperature gun. I'm stepping to people with the little gun right in their face and just making sure I do my due diligence. And that's where I'm at with it. So speaking of where I'm at, I'm not even really here. I'm actually here in Las Vegas at the Cosmopolitan. I'm about to do some visual media work for a client that pulled out all the stops, got me out here in a very luxurious suite that I can make great use of for the visual media portion of a trip. And it's just been very humbling to get back into working with those that either I've lost contact with or they've always been there, but we just hadn't had a means to cross paths in the way that we are now, So the people that have always been around, the people that reach back when they got in a position where they could do so, the new people I'm working with that are just as hungry as I am, all those are inspiring me to just push and push and push. And my pandemic piece is more important now that I have that, because I look back 5-6 years ago, standing at a bus stop, facing eviction, no money, no car, scrolling through my phone trying to find some temp agency that would take me in. And now I'm across the country shooting. I have my own business that I've been running consistently since 2016, where I just didn't look back. I decided to just keep betting on myself. I have a hashtag bet on yourself in all my Instagram posts. And I stand by that. This is respect season, and this is the season where you really earn that. Respect season is, for me, any time where you're just like, you're up against the wall and you got to prove that you're just as good, if not better, than anyone in your field, and you can make it through the season. Respect season is basically any season where work is the slowest and you have to prove that you can pursue and maintain and thrive, if you will. So respect season this time around has been the entire year. It's something that nobody was really prepared for, but we kind of should have been, have those nest eggs in place. not a lot of people have the means to do that. I'm one of those people, so I had to kind of just make sure that I can adapt and find resolve, find solutions, and having that peace of mind and knowing who I am right now, what I've been through, what I've come from. It's my armor. My peace is my armor, and I didn't have a good handle on that years ago. You know, me now is a lot better built for everything. You know, at least mentally, I'm built for everything, to where I'm not folding because of apprehension or fear or anxiety. Those moments where you feel like you just defeated are allowed, but you have to remember the you that got in that mud is the same you that can get you out of that mud. You know, you've never lost the ability to get out of the mud. You just became afraid for a moment. So I had to get past that and figure out, you know, who I am, what I stand for, my origin, my just the things that made me so used to rejection, the things that made me so used to losing and not seeing me be a better version because I'd never seen that example of someone that could do that. My mom was my best example of someone that could like find a way, make a way out of no way, as they say. And she is still my example of don't give up, bet on yourself. You're always going to find a way to get things done. And so that's part of the pandemic piece. The chaos that's all around me with the politics and health and just, survival and economy, all those things imploding, and I'm still like, I got it. I'm good. I've been through pieces of that before throughout my life. The different experiences that I've had have prepared me to be more brush it off my shoulder now that, you know, people are in the midst of it. People that we've lost, that we've just unnecessary loss in a lot of cases. So I have to maintain my resolve. It's respect season. I'm demanding it. I got a lot I'm fighting for. I got a lot I want to see happen. And everything I set out to do gets done. And now I got the peace of mind to do it.